Hi, everybody. My name is Kimberly Melton, and I am so excited about our show today. I am a photo manager with the Photo Managers. My company is Visual Story Media, and I've been with the Photo Managers for about 4 years and am honored to also be on the advisory board. I have the pleasure also of knowing all the people that I'm going to be able to introduce you to. So I'm super excited about that. We have a plethora of products that you can use to be able to help you organize your photos, digital images, media, and many, many more things. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to put them in the chat. We're going to have all our guests on and then be able to answer or ask any questions that you might have. But if you love this channel as much as I do, please hit the subscribe button because that helps us reach more people and reach our goals that we want to have. But we have a lot to cover today. So let's get started. Our first guest today is a wonderful lady that I know very well from Artifacts, Heather Nicholson, and she's going to talk with us. And I'm going to ask her a few questions about her fabulous company. And how do you spell your company's name? Just so when people are looking up, they can get it right.
Great. Thank you so much, Kimberly. Our company, Artifacts, is spelled ARTIFCTS.com. You can also find us on either Android or iOS on the App Store. That's Artifacts, ARTIFCTS.com.
Thank you. And we are going to have all the information, the websites, all this kind of wonderful stuff, and things that all our guests have brought to us today. Those are going to be in the description, and you can also reach and have see most of these products at the Photo Manager's website. So, all right, let's get on with the question. Tell us briefly about your company and how you keep your customers' photos, or especially for you, memories safe.
Yeah. No, great question, Kimberly. And I want to start us off with a little fun activity. Although we're virtual, we can all take part in this. So for a moment, close your eyes and picture your house or picture your parents' house. And think about all that stuff in the house. What is it? Why do we have it? Why is it important? Is any of it valuable? And what on earth is supposed to happen to it next? Okay, you can open your eyes. Hopefully, no one's too terrified at this point. But that's what we do at Artifacts. We have built a secure and patented technology platform that lets you tell the story, build your legacy, and create value object by object. What is even more important is you get to give your family a roadmap for what happens next to all that stuff. Do you want them to keep it, to sell it, to donate it? Maybe it's being bequeathed to a certain person. Artifacts gives you the peace of mind of knowing that your stuff and the stories will last for generations to come.
And I have artifacts, love it, have had clients that some of my clients to use it. And I know it's the keeping of the memories because photos and things can't talk, but you can help them talk through artifacts. That's the way I describe it anyway. Am I right?
That is exactly right. With Artifacts, it's really easy. There's 4 steps. You simply pick an object, which is usually the hardest starting point. But you pick your object, you can add a photo, video, audio, add a short story, some details, click save, and you're done. You now have an entirely secure, digitally private, but very easy to share memory safely stored inside your artifact. I want to quickly share my screen and share some of the slides to get at why this matters. We're talking about Save Your Photos Month, right? So why should we care about this? So hopefully you can all see the screens. But at Artifacts, we've been in business now going on almost 4 years. And we have had our members come to us after tragedy, be it wildfires across the US. And all of their items, their photos, their family memorabilia, mementos, it's up in smoke and it's lost to memory. We've had members in the South Coast, Florida region, the Carolinas. Kimberly, I know you all sometimes get hit with bad weather, bad storms. You can spend years curating a collection, and then Mother Nature spends moments destroying it. And sometimes there's no easy way to get back the stuff. There's no easy way to find the photos. And I know with Save Your Photos Month, Kathy Nelson, the Photo Manager CEO, has a fabulous story about how this started. And it started with a hurricane. It started with a found photo, trying to connect the people and the memories back to the actual objects. And then we also have everyday mayhem. It happens. The basement floods, or maybe the attic, the heat with the sun, it destroys the objects up there. So appliances, yes, they are replaceable, but grandma's heirlooms, not so much. And at us, with artifacts, it tears us to pieces when we hear stories about folks who've said they've lost everything in a wildfire, a hurricane, a flood, but the hardest part is all those memories. And that's really what we're here to do to change. We're here to make it simple and easy for anyone, anywhere to preserve the stories, the memories, and the value behind all their stuff, photos included. So I'm going to stop sharing, Kimberly, and pop back into our chat.
Well, I know that I've appreciated artifacts. And now when you join, don't you have a couple of artifacts you can do free that people can even go in and try it out?
Yes, that's true. So we have on our platform, we are partnered with AARP, which is really important for us to ensure, again, anyone, anywhere can tell their story, build their legacy. When you join Artifacts, your first 5 artifacts are always free. There is no strings attached, no need to enter any credit card information, nothing. There is no reason that anyone, anywhere can't tell their story in 5 the most cherished photos, or maybe the most cherished objects. But it's really easy to get started. We also partner, for those of you who know Matt Paxton, star of Legacy List and Hoarders. He's on our advisory board, and he likes to tell the families he works with, go artifact your legacy list. Take those 5 items that tell your story and make sure you've taken time to capture the memory, capture the reason why it's so important to you, and do so with artifacts. Because again, it's safe, it's secure, entirely private, and you can privately share with family and friends.
So that's great, because if people aren't quite sure what artifacts is, or they're a little afraid of, not sure what to do, you can easily just get on your phone, go ahead, snap a few pictures. That would be great. That's really wonderful.
Yeah, it's really
Now,
easy to break it that way.
who would benefit from this app that you have?
So we like to think that if you have stuff and you have photos and they can't talk, you will love artifacts. You will benefit from artifacts. Typically, though, our members are typically in their 40s to 70s. They're dealing with their stuff, their parents' stuff, and usually their kids' stuff. And they are feeling overwhelmed. They have a stuff tsunami, and they don't know what to do or how to do it. And I'll share a good example. This is an old photo of my mother. She was the inspiration for founding artifacts. And my daughter never knew her grandmother like this. My daughter only knew her as a 70-year-old woman. Well, my daughter once asked, who is that in the photo? She thought it was one of those those black and white photos you get in the picture frame when you buy the frame. I had to tell her, dear daughter, that's grandma. Let me tell you the story behind this photo. So now it's artifacted in our family. And you can see here, we have a QR code. When you create artifacts, any artifact you make has a unique QR code. Pop it on the back of the photo. Pop it into the photo album, the scrapbook. Put it under the table, whatever you're artifacting. But you can scan that and link the digital artifact with the physical item. So again, the story, the memory goes with the actual item. So if you're trying to downsize, declutter, get organized, or simply you're the family keeper and you have a lot of stuff and you want to tell the story, those are the folks that would benefit for artifacts.
That is so cool. I really appreciate that. And I work with about the same population you do, and people who have lots of pictures. And the one thing I stress to my clients is your kids don't want your 23 albums. They don't. They want organization. They want that. So that's really, really cool. Now, if I know there's some photo managers on here today, what aspects of your app are especially useful for them?
Yeah, so our photo manager folks, we have an entire section of our platform dedicated to you. It's called Artifacts for Professionals, or what we like to call it is Artie Pro. You can have an Artie Pro membership, and then you can create artifacts with your clients or on behalf of your clients. You never have to share passwords with them. You never have to share accounts with them. You can, with a click of a button, transfer the entire collection or a single artifact over to them. You can go back and forth. Artifacting, adding artifacting into your service as a photo manager can help you grow your business. It also can help you get recurring revenue. We've had several stories since we launched Artifacts for Professionals, where photo managers, professional organizers, even professional booth managers have said they've done their job that they were doing, organizing the photos or making the photo book, and then they start artifacting. Pick those, if you're putting those 10 photos in a frame or you're highlighting them in a book, that's great. Let's artifact them, add the story. The clients really enjoy that process. It's you're hearing the stories anyways, help them capture them. But they'll call you back and say, hey, I really enjoyed that piece of it. Now that everything is organized, I now want to spend more time artifacting. And as an Artie Pro, you can get paid, you can billable hours for working with those clients to help them artifact, to help them capture the stories. It's a really neat thing to see when you get the clients and the pros working together to preserve their family history and stories.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I know that you have a wonderful newsletter that I love to read that you can sign up for on the website. So we really really appreciate y'all having you here today. And I know that you can be contacted via your website if anybody has any questions, etc. And then if you even think about something later, you can always put it in the description here, and we'll absolutely get that answered for you. So
Yep, you can
thanks so much,
also,
Heather.
thank you so much, Kimberly. You
Yes,
can also reach us at hello@artifacts.com. You'll get myself or my
you
co-founder.
made it nice and easy. And remember, no A. That's
Yes,
I
no
have to
second
type
A.
it with no A. All righty. Thank you so much. Now, our wonderful next guest is Amanda, and she's with Permanent. Hi there. I'm so glad you're here today.
Hi, Kimberly.
You.
Oh, sorry, you broke up for
So let's get started because I know that everybody really wants to hear about Permanent. Tell us briefly about your company and how you help keep your customers' photos and memories organized.
Sure. So Permanent is a nonprofit 501c3. We are dedicated to the long-term preservation of our members' materials. That can be photos, that can be historical and personal documents. We take any kind of file type, and we do primarily have a lot of photos and photo managers and family archives on our site. So the Permanent Legacy Foundation is the nonprofit that hosts and builds on permanent.org, which is both a web app and a mobile app, with pretty robust archival tools. And yeah, we have long-term preservation as our main mission, which means that we also include a lot of features around metadata and being able to customize your archives, build multiple archives for different purposes. So let's say you want to build an archive for both your mother and your father's side of the family. You can do that using one account. We also have pretty robust collaboration tools, allowing you to invite other people to be part of the process, adding their unique stories and materials and information to the platform as well.
Wow. Who would benefit most from your site?
It's really designed for everyone. So our mission is to help anyone who has an interest in creating a digital legacy, create their digital legacy. I would say that our members, similar to Artifacts, are kind of in the 40 to 70 range, but it is designed intentionally to be very user-friendly so that anyone can use it. And the mobile app is really nice for folks who are more digitally inclined and who keep their photos on their phones. So it allows for people who have both physical items and digital materials that they want to store and back up or organize into really thoughtfully designed archives to be able to do that.
Oh, excellent, excellent. And as I told Heather, we have a lot of photo managers who also watch this site. So how does your product fit with photo organizing and the photo managers?
Yeah, we do work a lot with photo managers, and I think that one of the main benefits is that you can create archives for clients, you can create archives with clients, and you can also set it up so that you are collaborating with them and or transferring ownership to them once you are done. So creating digital archives, you know, when you are scanning and organizing and adding data to folks' materials, it's nice to have a place to put it and be able to hand it off in a very seamless fashion. So that is definitely one of the main features that I think benefits our photo organizing community. And yeah, I think that the other, it is a way to be able to expand your services into kind of the digital realm, if that's not something that you're already doing. And I see Karen mentioned the Legacy Lab course at Permanent, and I forgot to mention that in the last question that you asked. So who would benefit? So we are also really beginner friendly. So folks who are just starting out on their personal digital archiving journey, we really want to include you in creating your own legacies. And so we've designed a course called the Legacy Lab, which is a 30-day email course. And we meet once a week. We go over any questions folks have. We have, yeah. So, and it ranges from, it's donation based. So you can pay nothing and you can join, because as I mentioned, we're a nonprofit. And so we prioritize, you know, removing the barriers for everybody. And I should also mention that our pricing model is unique in that it's not subscription based. And so when you sign up for a free account, you get 1 free gigabyte. And for many people, that's enough to create their archives. But for others, if they need to use more storage, then they purchase a gigabyte for $10. And that money goes into an endowment, which allows us to preserve your materials indefinitely. So that is how our sustainability model works, and how our pricing model works.
Excellent, excellent. And what would you say would be the why behind your company? If somebody was later talking about your company and they wanted to describe something, what would that why be?
Well, because we believe that every individual has a unique story that deserves to be preserved in a legacy, that your legacy matters and your life matters. And it's really, you know, this is kind of a democratization of archives in many ways, because we are making it accessible through our pricing model and through our educational programs and the way that our platform is designed. So the why is really that democratization and making it possible for people to create their digital legacies. Whereas I'm a person who has a background in libraries and archives, and the folks who have access to preserve their legacies in those spaces are, you know, it's not open to everybody. And this is open to everybody, and it allows you to preserve your family's history and your, you know, your community's history. We work a lot with community organizations as well. So yeah, and I welcome any questions. I can be found.
Yeah, people can pop them in the chat. I see a few. So with the, I'm looking at Karen. Karen had mentioned the class. Is there still time to sign up for that?
Yeah, so the class is starting on October 7th. So please, I think the 7th or the 4th. So please go ahead and sign up. I think we're going to put the link directly to that in the chat. But if you go to our homepage, You'll see on the top menu, there is a link for the Legacy Lab, and you can sign up now.
We got it in there. So that's great. If anybody has any questions, just go ahead and type them in. But thank you so much for the service that you offer and the nonprofit service. And I have explored Permanent. It's a fabulous site. Everybody should go on and just check out all the speakers that we have today, because they've got just some incredible products that will be able to help us get more organized. So thank you for the work you do.
Thank you so much, Kimberly.
Sure. All right, now, one of my favorite, Melissa is up next, and she is with Ollie. I love Ollie. I love the little octopus in Ollie, and I know you're going to tell us all about that fabulous product, because I have it and I use it too. So there we go.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Kimberly, and for the photo manager for doing this. We're excited. Yeah, so Ollie's your AI photo assistant, and basically, how many of us have too many photos on our camera roll? Me. And really, we just want to like help people create a healthy habit of actually curating their photos, so that in the end, your good photos are easy to find, and you don't have to take up space with the photos that don't mean anything to you, like that picture of the couch that item from Costco that you sent to your husband, but you don't need it anymore, and you want it off your phone. We never really go through it. So Ollie's sort of like nudging you and helping you to go through the phone. He helps you by making suggestions, but at the end of the day, you have the power to tell Ollie if he's right or wrong. If you want, I can show you a little bit how the app works.
Yeah, why don't you do that? Because it's once you get it, you get it. But talking about it, people are like, "What? We all have too many photos, but what does that matter? How do I get it organized?" There you go.
Do you see the screen?
Yes, I do.
Awesome. I'm going to jump right to the screen. This is a home screen of Ollie, and basically you can see all these months, right, that you have. And what's cool, it tells you exactly how many photos you have for each month. So you can start sorting wherever you'd like. One of the places I like to start sorting is this special album that we call On This Day. And what that's going to do, it'll show me. So today's the 26th of September. If I go to my On This Day for today, it'll say, it'll be all the photos that I took on September 26th, no matter the year. So it's a really fun exercise, because one, it's a great way to clean out your phone. It's quick, and it's also like when I'm seeing photos from September 26 from 2014, I'm seeing my kids as babies. So it's really nostalgic, and it's therapeutic, and it's fun. It takes a couple of minutes or a couple of seconds, depending on how many photos you have. But it's a really great hack to sort of like clean up your phone. And then you have the months, those that have check marks, as you can see, those are the ones that are done. So your goal is to have as many green check marks as possible. And what's really great about Ollie is that now we've had a new feature where you can actually go back to the month and resort it. Because let's say for August, I kept 200 photos, but I might not need all 200 or want all 200, and I can go back if I want to and sort of revisit it. But yeah, so it's a really simple interface and you're seeing all the photos that are on your phone. So I do want to point out that this is an app right now in the Apple App Store. We currently do not have an Android version. That is coming in the future, but we do not currently have it now. And it'll read any photo that you have on your camera roll, or if your camera roll is connected, so if your Apple Photos is connected to iCloud, you can see all the photos that you have in iCloud. For example, I've scanned many photos from my childhood, and now they are in my iCloud, so I've been able to sort through those with Ollie as well. And then in the next screen here, I'll just show you how the sorting actually works. There's two main ways you can see your photos. So when you click on that month, in that previous screen that I showed you, you're going to see a monthly grid. And right away, you can see in this first photo that I have some empty circles and some icons that are like garbage cans. So there, Ollie's saying the ones with the circle, he's recommending that you keep them. He's going to tell you if you think you should keep it or you should trash it. And if you agree, you just leave it like that. If you disagree, you can tap on that icon and quickly change it, scroll through the month, and then you can just hit save month. Your choices are made. The photos that you did not want are all going to go to the trash together at the same time. The next way you could view it is, if you're like me and you wear glasses for a reason, you can't really see those small pictures on your phone. I'm going to tap on that photo. I'm going to see the photos individually. There's these buttons at the bottom, as you can see in that picture. Ollie recommended that I keep the photo. If I agree, I just tap on keep and it jumps to the next photo, or I can swipe to the next photo. If I disagree, I can just tap trash. What's great about Ollie is as I make changes and I say, Ollie, no, you got it wrong, I want to trash this photo. He starts to learn your preferences and he gets better at recommending trash or keep. Now, what if this was a photo that I love? It's like one of my favorite photos, right? Then I would just tap on that heart on the top right corner and mark it as a favorite. Another thing to note with Ollie is that all of your photos are kept private and on your device. We do not have servers. We do not download your photos. So you're basically downloading Ollie as an app, and we're just helping you organize photos on your device or on your system. So that's just really important for us, for you to keep your privacy, and we're never seeing your photos. And then the last screen here is when you're done with the month, when you finally hit that save month, then Ollie's going to give you a summary of how many you've trashed, how many you've kept, and then it'll just bounce you back to the main screen and you can start all over again in another month. So whether you have 2 minutes, 10 minutes, or maybe an hour to sort photos, you can just gauge your time and it just becomes a really fun activity to do.
That is wonderful. And I find it more fun than going through the Apple app to delete. It seems more, I don't know, you've got bells and whistles and fun stuff that Apple doesn't have.
Yeah, you get I'm always wanting to get all these check marks, and when I finish a month I can see the summary. So my goal is to be able to scroll all the way down and see all the green check marks. I think I've done like 10 years now of photos. Some days I do it for 2 minutes, some days I do it for 20 minutes. It just depends.
I tell my clients who I work with that they need to pick a delete day. So for me, it's Sundays. Sometime on Sunday, I'm going to spend 5 minutes going through the past 7 days. Some people, they don't want to do it once a week. So I suggest, do it on the 1st, do it on the 15th, but just make sure that whatever your delete day is and what works for you, so you can get those unwanted photos, because you don't want to have 60,000 photos on your phone, which I've had clients that have had.
Yeah. I think I started off when I first started working with Ollie, I had 150,000 photos on my phone. I'm down to like 65. So
yeah. Now who would benefit from Ollie?
I think anybody that has an iPhone and that thinks they have too many photos, or, there are some photo managers, for example, that I'm talking to, and they have a hands on their photos. They have a system, but most people don't, right? And they just get overwhelmed. Or if you find yourself like you're at a cocktail party or brunch with friends and you're looking for that photo and you can never find it, you need Ollie. You need to be able to get a handle on your camera so the photos are manageable and easy to find. And honestly, I think if you need like a dose of therapy, daily dose, I really believe that using on this day, it's so great. And I also love it because as I'm looking photos of past years, I'll be sending a picture to my sister. Hey, oh my God, do you remember when the kids were this small? And it just creates all these conversations and connections with people that you tend to lose because we're on our phones all the time. I find myself reconnecting with friends or loved ones because I'm sharing photos from like 10 years ago because they popped into my On This Day album and I'm sorting it. So I think it's a really fun escape as well.
Wow. And so as I've been asked the other individuals, and again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to pop them in the app. If you're a professional photo manager, what aspect of Ollie is really useful for photo managers?
Well, I think for photo managers, we have an affiliate or an ambassador program, which is really great because we give you all the promotional materials. We also give you your own personalized link to the App Store. We also give you a promo code so you can give 20% off to your clients when they download the app. The app does have a cost. We have a 3 free-day trial. And then after that, if you keep the app, it's $39.99 a year. But if you have a code, just like there is a code for the photo managers, anybody watching this can use a code photomanagers20 and you get 20% off the app when you download it. But in addition to that, we also provide like elevated customer service for photo managers. So if you have a client that needs a little bit extra help with Ollie or hand holding, I have met with many clients of photo managers that, hey, this person just downloaded, they're kind of confused or they need more help. I've had like a welcome session with them. Or because every photo manager's business is different, right? Some might be scanning more, some might be doing photo books. And depending on the type of photo manager business you have, you might use Ollie as a tool in a different way. If you're a photo manager that your main business is digitally organizing all the files or photos for your clients, you can do that. And then once you give them, you say, you know, this is a great tool. Now that you're starting at point zero, like all your photos are organized, I want you to use Ollie to like keep your camera roll organized, and maybe all the ones that you kept, those are the ones that you're uploading to your secondary, you know, where you're saving it on the hard drive or the forever drives and all those things. So it's a different thing, that a different way that you could use it. If you're a photo manager that does photo books a lot for clients, and you know the client comes to you and say, hey Kimberly, I need you to do a photo book for my Hawaii vacation. You're like, I'd be happy to. And then you ask them, how many photos do you have? They're like 20,000. They're like, oh no, I'm sorry, I can't do 20,000 photos. I need you to download this app, sort
Really
your
big
photos, sort your photos from the month, and then they can share with you the ones that they kept or that they favorited with Ollie. It just becomes a tool that you can use to sort of, you know, do other aspects of your business.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, and that's great that you have a 3-day free trial. That way, any of our viewers here can go on and check it out. And they've got this code, and it'll also be in the description below. And of course, hit the subscribe button while you're down there, because we would really love to make sure that you don't miss anything that we have on our channel. And is there anything else about Ollie we should know?
I think just remember about the free 3-day trial. Make sure you're following us on Instagram. That's really the best way to get the updates. So it's at Ollie Photo App. And then also, if you are using Ollie and you like it, we'd love for you to rate us and give us a review at the App Store.
Certainly. Well, thank you so much for coming on today and sharing your wonderful product. And I know everybody's going to go and at least try it out a couple of days. That'll be a lot of fun. Thanks so much. Looking at my list here. Now we have our Mylio rep, Angela, and she's going to come on and talk about the wonderful Mylio. Love Mylio. So tell us all. I know about it, but you tell us all about it.
So Mylio Photos is an application that helps you organize your lifetime of photos. One of the things that a lot of people find challenging is they've got pictures that are everywhere. They've got cell phones, they've got hard drives, they've got different cloud services they've been using. And when they go to find a specific photo, they're just lost. They're like, oh, I don't know where to look over here. Or maybe they pick up their phone and they're just scrolling. That's the big thing that we aim to solve. So you get all of your pictures from all of your different sources into one central library. What you can do then is then access that library from any of your devices. It works on Mac, Windows, iOS, and Android. And
Right.
that allows your devices to talk directly to each other. So Mylio is what we call cloud independent, meaning you get to choose where you store your pictures. If you want to keep everything local and private on hard drives that you control, Mylio can help you do that. If you want to have an offsite storage in the cloud and you want to have that protection for keeping a copy offsite, Mylio can help you do that too, but it's up to you. So we have a lot of flexibility and respects your privacy. So once you get everything into Mylio, the synchronization between your devices is automatic. If you have things set up to go to what we call a vault, which is a drive that holds everything, or any device that holds everything, that's automatic. You don't have to sit there and manually move anything around. Mylio makes sure all of that stuff stays in sync. So it's incredibly powerful, and it can really change the way you work with your photos and help you get everything into one place. And not only is this for your digital photos, and that's usually where people start, but if you are gathering up all of your family's history, those pictures, once they're digitized, can go into Mylio. And Mylio also holds videos and documents as well. So when you bring in your family videos and you have scans of maybe birth certificates and things like that, all of that can go into your Mylio. So it's really quite powerful. And then being able to access all of those things from any device you pick up, whether you're on your phone, your tablet, or your computer at home, you can have access to your entire library.
So, okay, if some people may have their photos on Amazon, that's the Amazon site, but your site with Mylio is actually their site. They own the photos. They own where they hide. It's not like going to Amazon and getting, nothing's wrong with Amazon, by the way, but I'm just using that as an example. So Amazon photos, this is Mylio is Mylio's site. It'd be when Kimberly has a Mylio account, so it's my Mylio site. Is that right? Is that way we can kind of help our audience understand the two?
Yeah, I mean, you're taking that in a great direction. But one thing to know about Mylio is that you don't view your pictures on the Mylio website. They are stored locally on your devices. So you'd have a folder on your computer or folders on your hard drives that are connected to your computer. That's where your stuff is stored. And then you can choose if you want to have an offsite copy in the cloud or something like that. But you have full control over your stuff. And you use the Mylio Photos application to browse, which makes it much more fun than sitting there digging through the file system, because you can actually see your pictures. You can do, some really sophisticated searches. It has AI object recognition. It has amazing facial recognition, so you can tag all the important people in your life and find things when you need them.
Wow. So is there a certain type of customer that would benefit from from Mylio?
Just about anybody who has photos can benefit, but the people we work with the most are going to be families, people who are working on family history projects. We work with some professional photographers. We even work with some small businesses. So really anyone who's managing a moderate to large amount of photos can really benefit from this program, because it helps you get all of those things organized into one place so you can get to them when you need them.
Right. And so if you're a professional photo organizer with the photo managers, how would Mylio help them?
So that's a great question. So there's a lot of wonderful tools inside of Mylio Photos that we've developed specifically to help photo managers. One is we have the ability to switch device profiles, so you can work with your client and log into their account and help manage their account remotely. So you can switch between profiles, so you can have your own account and then be able to view your client's accounts as well. Because things are stored locally, you can rename files, move things around, and you're actually doing things at the file system level, and nothing is held in a proprietary format. So anything that you put together and help your client organize, if for some reason they no longer want to use Mylio, they can take that folder of images and go wherever they want. And any metadata that you added in Mylio Photos is also industry standard. So again, that's portable to whatever that client wants to be able to do with their images. Mylio is a great tool, and we hope they'll stick with it for forever, but we understand that your data is yours. And when you put anything into Mylio Photos, because you're storing it locally, we don't see any of it. So you have full control and you have full privacy. What you share is up to you.
And just for our people who may not understand, because you and I are talking metadata all the time, because that's what we do. But
Yes.
Metadata is the information within that photo. So for instance, if you were to take your iPhone, your Android, and flip up, you could see that that picture was taken on August 12th. It was taken with an iPhone. It was taken at 4:32. You may have the GPS on, and it was taken in Asheville, North Carolina. And it was for, it had Mary and John in it, because all that information is in that photo. And what you want to do is make sure that whatever program you have, if you download those photos from that program, that metadata is still in there, because you want to make sure you knew that was taken on August 12th or whenever it was. So, and I know that Mylio keeps that information even if you don't have Mylio anymore.
Correct.
So,
yeah,
and it's very specific in its security, in that it's on your computer. It's not in the cloud somewhere stored. So
correct. Yeah.
Excellent.
So, I mean, when you talk about metadata, if you go through and it does its facial recognition. So it scans your pictures for recognizable faces, and you go in there and you name people. All of that information gets stored in an industry standard format and goes with that picture. One thing that we hear from a lot of people who come from other systems is they maybe went through the trouble of tagging their pictures, but because those pictures were stored in a proprietary format, that information doesn't travel with them. So when they go to try to take them somewhere else, they can't. And so that's one thing we really want to help people understand, that when you go into something like Mylio, you have full control of your data. And that's so very important.
Absolutely. And I know that you have some very sophisticated tools for those people who want to learn, and great customer service to be able to get them up to that speed of being able to do that. So it's not like you get Mylio and then you're all on your own and you can twiddle your thumbs and go, oh my gracious, because I know that y'all have a lot of support, a great newsletter, a Mylio community. You have a lot going for you. So is there anything else you want to tell us about Mylio?
Well, just if you decide to jump into Mylio, there's a free 7-day trial. You can go ahead and go to mylio.com, give it a try, see what you think. For our photo managers, we do have even a Mylio certification program, which is awesome. It's slightly more expensive than a year of Mylio photos of the subscription, and it gets you things like preferred support and access to, really great access to our team. Even our users who are just doing this for themselves, our community is out of this world. We have lots of courses for beginners who are just getting started. We've got live Q&As. I do twice a week live stream Q&As where people can just come and ask me questions, and I will demo on the fly whatever they need to learn. So we do a lot to make sure that everybody can be successful, and we really want you to be happy and thrilled with what you're able to do with your library.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for coming on today. We really, really appreciate it. And again, all the information for Mylio will be in the information below. And we're so delighted that you were able to join us today.
Thanks for having me.
All right, let's see. We've had Artifacts, we've had Ollie, we've had Mylio, and now we have Projector. And Projector is not just photos. It's a whole nother option. And I love me some Robert. So come on, Robert, and let us know all about it. How are you today?
Awesome, Kimberly. So great to be here and be with you, of course.
Yes. And again, I know y'all maybe think I don't really have all, but I really do have a Projector app. And in fact, all my cousins have access to it because I was the one that scanned all of our 8mm movies for when we were little out on the beach in our little diapers running around Savannah. So I love it. I love it. So tell us about Projector and about your company.
Well, great. Let me put it this way, since you're a user and your family's a user. Let's just say your family wanted to watch a football game this Saturday or Sunday. Could you imagine a world where the only way you can watch that football game on your big TV is to take something like a thumb drive and plug it into the TV? It'd be a pain. It's not a technology that people are going to do all the time. It's not a stable technology that always works, but that could be the reality. How about if you want to watch your favorite TV show, movie, documentary, and the only way to do it is to load it up on your phone and through Google Chromecast or Apple AirPlay, play it to your TV. Otherwise, you couldn't watch HDTV. You couldn't watch your favorite TV shows on whatever network or whatever streaming app like Netflix. Again, it's not a technology that anyone would find convenient or easy. How about you want to watch the evening news? Could you imagine the whole family gathering around your computer? Or if you want to watch on the big screen TV, you had to plug your computer with a cord into the HDMI cable if you can get back there on your big 80-inch TV to watch the evening news. You wouldn't do that, and it's inefficient. But that's how we watch home movies, and it makes no sense. There's a technology out there that everyone from 3 years old to 103 years old is proficient at. The TV remote. Why can't we watch home movies the same way we watch the ball game, same way we watch the evening news, same way we watch our favorite TV shows? And that's what Projector is. Projector is it. If we want to demo the product real quick, if Becca pulled up. So you're looking at my home TV. This is my actual family's Apple TV. Projector's on Roku, Google TV, Amazon Fire Stick. We now have a Samsung Smart TV app. But we stream. Everyone streams now. If you're not streaming, you're in the huge minority. It's how we watch TV. And my thought is, why can't we watch TV or our home movies, not all those archaic ways I explained, or on social media like Facebook or YouTube, where no one's ever going to see it other than one time? Why can't there be an app on our TVs, just like Netflix and Disney Plus and Max, where with just a few clicks, now, instead of those other technologies that no one's ever going to use, and my wife would never see these movies, now she can just grab the remote control on any TV, anywhere, anytime, and boom, we have a video streaming app that operates just like Disney Plus or Netflix, only instead of their categories, you make your own categories. We could thumb down to this category of my son, Ryan. Ryan is now 25 years old. We could watch his ultrasound the day he was born. He took a blimp ride. We could even go and see his first birthday party. When you click on a movie, and again, it plays, operates, navigates, same functionality of Netflix. We could watch his birthday. You could see that it was July of 2000 was Ryan's first birthday. Boom, hit click play. And now we're on the day of little Ryan's. He looks a little different now. He's got a big beard. But we can watch Ryan's first birthday. So that's what Projector is. it is making these movies come alive. I've told many photo managers before that I videotape, I borrowed a camcorder, my honeymoon with my wife. It sat on a little mini tape for 15 years. I digitized it 13 years ago. And it wasn't until Projector that my wife took the remote control. And the first question she said to me, and I'll show you the video, it's up here. There's our honeymoon. She said to me, "You recorded our honeymoon?" She didn't even know because it sat for 28 years. And by the way, without Projector, it not only would have sat forever and she never could have watched it. Our kids couldn't have watched it. Our great grandkids someday wouldn't be able to watch it, but it probably would have disappeared because it sat in a cloud drive, and the cloud drives are not going to follow us when we're gone. So Projector is something that anyone can build literally within minutes. You design your categories, you can decorate them, you design your videos and the titles and the thumbnails. You have control of the thumbnails. I do want to show this category, Kimberly, if you'll entertain me for a minute or humor me for a minute. I had over 90 videotapes that I transferred. So I came up with a category called volumes. I thought it was a creative way to archive them and catalog them. So I have volume 1 to volume 90 something. So if I want to watch, here's volume 11, you can click on it. It'll tell you, because I put it in there, that this is from April 30th, 2000 to May 22nd, 2000. Hopefully it's nothing inappropriate like my wife doing, like breastfeeding our children back then. We had 4 children in 5 years. Here, I'll scan forward. And there it is. We're watching this movie. This is a 2-hour and 3-minute videotape. I brought it up in about, a second and a half. It streams, plays great. Projector allows you to upload big files. You could upload as many as you want, and you could stream as much as you want. If you own 5 houses with 10 TVs each house, you can stream 50 simultaneous shows. We're not like Netflix, where we say you can only use it at one house on 3 TVs or something like that. Projector is everywhere. So that is the product. And I've changed the way that my family watches TV, and I'm happy to say that we're going to exceed over 2,000 subscribers worldwide by the end of this calendar year. People are using it. And we're learning and we're developing. And we also, at the very end, I'll announce the Save Your Photos Month special that we've been running that is going to make September our best month to date.
That's right, because it's half off.
It's half off the first year.
Well, and to help people also understand, one of the things that photo managers do, and I love to do this, is, you've got 8mm film, you've got VHS tapes, you've got little camcorder tapes. They're locked. They're locked because we don't have any of the items that or most people don't have any of the items that you would see, especially the 8mm, which transfer beautifully into tape. So take those 8mm. You can take them to a photo manager. I love doing film, and then convert them. And wouldn't it be great? Oh my gosh, this would be such a great idea, Robert. So people, they get their projector up, they get it ready, they put everything on there, and Christmas morning, they say, I have a surprise for you. And then they go to Projector, and there it is. And all these tapes are on their TV on Christmas, and everybody can watch them. That is so cool.
It will start a tradition for that family forever. Yep.
Oh, yeah. I had my 25th wedding anniversary, and, a photo manager, I had all the photos. So I did a montage of photos, a video, and of our 25 years together. And so that evening, after we got home from dinner, I said, let's watch TV. And he kind of looked at me, and because I was really excited. And then I said, and I flipped on Projector, and I flipped my tape on, and he started crying. I had to go get him tissues. It was great. We watched it 3 times that night. So it's a wonderful, wonderful tool. Now, is there, and how do they find out about you? Can you download a tape just to find out what are the parameters with it?
So anyone can reach out to me at any time, robert@projectorstream.com. We also kind of created this term insider for the photo managers. You can email us insider@photomanagers.com. We have a monthly newsletter. We make announcements like we're half off with Save Your Photos Month. And that comes from our insider newsletter. One thing you said, I think that's very important in your last comment, is photo managers, sometimes a lot of them only touch photos. But even if you have photos and you make a presentation, a slideshow, a reflection video, a life tribute one, that becomes a movie. So you, even though you're photo managers, you're making movies. And by the way, with these iPhones, I am making movies all the time. If my iPhone says, hey, we have a memory from June of 2020 when you went to Colorado and you shouldn't have been there because it was the pandemic, it gives me a little movie. I export it, I put it in the projector, and now, boom, we have that movie up there. So even if you don't naturally do video transfers or don't make a lot of movies and editing, you're still making movies. And the beautiful thing about photo managers is Projector, we don't make the movies. We don't set them up for the client. We don't digitize. This is what you do. And Projector is an incredible tool for you to be able to allow your clients to enjoy them with the technology they already understand on their TV. They will be blown away that you have that superpower. Cost Disney
Exactly.
$4 billion to build Disney Plus so people could stream their content. You could do it for your clients without a big corporate company and 1,000 programmers and employees, and you could do it for about $6 a month, and you could put as much as they have. If they have 300 terabytes of movies, put them all up there. And you organize it. Hopefully you'll make it very pretty and thematic, and then constantly getting more stuff from them. Reach out to your client and say, hey, it's been 6 months. You probably have more movies. Let me have access to your iPhone library and I'll make some movies for you to get some new, fresh content into Projector, because otherwise it's going to sit here forever and no one's ever going to see it.
I mean, let's take me, for example. I could have transferred those 8mm films and the VHS tapes and stuff, and just me and my daughter and my husband watch it. But I didn't want that. I wanted my whole family to have access. I'm one of 11 in my generation. So I gave everybody access. They're all watching it. We're all laughing at each other, how crazy we were when we were little. And we do have some questions, Robert. So how long do you store videos on Projector?
So once you upload them, they're there forever. That's it. You put it up to us. We sit on Amazon Web Services. There's no secret to that. That's who Netflix uses. That's who Airbnb uses. We sit behind their firewall. And so important, this is private vault storage. There's no liking and commenting like social media. No one else has access to it. And unless Amazon Web Services get hacked, you're going to be pretty protected by it. So you don't have to worry about that. And we don't have a storage cap, because I can't expect someone to convert 32-hour videotapes and have a limit. So we have one rate plan, and you upload. And right now we're offering half off, which to the end of this month. And it's just incredible. Disney spent $4 billion launching Disney Plus, and you can have it for less than $80 a year, and way better content. And I love Disney content. I'm a Star Wars geek, but let me tell you, my kids come first, and I like my home movies and my children first.
Right. And in the questions here, we've got in the comments, we've got a promo code for 50% off for this month only. And remember, today's the 26th. Also, we have a question from Mary. So what happens is when you have 8mm tape, you have camcorder tape, you have VHS tape, all those convert to MP4. That's the name of the video style. It's kind of like your photos are called JPEGs, JPG. And all video is MP4. So she was wondering, how do you get good quality? You have somebody that you trust. The Photo Managers has a phenomenal website that lists people in your area. And I love helping people, and I know they do too. And you can go on and find somebody in your area, and they'll be able to help you. And then they'll also know how to upload to Projector and get those things on so that you can share them with your cousins too. Let me see.
Mind, Mary, if I add something to Mary's question?
Please.
Mary, we have a help center on our website, which is projectorstream.com. And in our help center, we actually published an article about video formats that we recommend to work with Projector. And the cool thing is that article was written by a photo manager, a lovely person by the name of Becky Ball. So Becky wrote this. It tells you exactly everything from, the format like MP4 to Kodak and other recommendations.
Excellent. And Becky is phenomenal. So if she wrote it, I know it's got to be good. And if you are a professional photo manager watching this, what aspects of your app or service are especially useful to photo managers?
Well, like I said before, I truly believe this gives you as a photo manager, when you embark on video, a superpower. Could you imagine when you explain to your client or you surprise your client and now next to their Netflix app, and maybe they watch local TV and live TV with YouTube TV, and they have the Disney Plus and the Max and the Paramount and the Hulu and all that stuff. And now they have this other app called Projector. And when they launch it, it looks and feels just like all their other apps, but it's the best content of all. It's their life. It's their family. Maybe it's old legacy stuff from their parents or even their grandparents. You can create it. Obviously, you should build for your services with them, whether you're digitizing, organizing, building their Projector account. Projector even went so far as to build an affiliate portal. So photo managers actually have their own portal where they can go in and create, manage their client accounts. So we give you a lot of control, and we're getting really, really good with the uploading and the onboarding. And we have a roadmap for the next 24 months. We're going to build so many incredible tools to make it easier for both consumers, but also the photo managers to create and upload videos and build a Projector account. So I think I'm making you a superhero. You can be a superhero by giving your clients their own video streaming app. They'll be blown away how you did it.
Absolutely. And I concur with everything. You know, when I have clients that I recently did a client and she had, I think about 20 or 30 videos, but she also has brothers and sisters all over the world. And she was able to share the information with them and the videos that they had. So it was wonderful for her. Well, Robert, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. It was great hearing about your wonderful product. And everybody, we've got the information in the chat and then the description below. So thank you so much for coming on and sharing about the wonderful Projector.
Thank you, Kimberly, so much.
All right, great to see you. All right, let's see. Artifacts, Ollie, Mylio, Projector, and now we have Trustworthy. And I'm super excited to hear about Trustworthy.
Well, hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well, Kimberly. Thanks for having us.
Certainly. I'm so glad that you're here today.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping to make you a huge fan. I can see your enthusiasm for a number of the other products, and I am very excited to chat a bit about Trustworthy today.
And no, I can't wait to hear about it. So I heard a little bit at our conference last year. So at first glance, Trustworthy doesn't seem to be about photos, but why would it matter to individuals who want to know about you and also the photo managers?
Yeah, well, it's a great question. I think it stems from all of the conversation thus far, I feel like I'm in a safe place of those who love to organize and keep things straight. Now, photo managers, much like us, we work with Trustworthy certified experts. It's our network of folks who are going into people's homes and helping them organize, optimize, and secure a family's most important information. So we think of Trustworthy as a family's intelligent vault. So from that front, we call it the family operating system. And like you'd expect, you have things like photos, but it's also about all of that other information that you or maybe your spouse are juggling on a day-to-day basis, and all of these different silos of information that you just don't quite know where to keep. I was listening to Heather's Artifacts presentation earlier. The threat of wildfire and natural disaster is very real, but more so than that, families have this asset that in many cases, they're just not really taking advantage of or is too hard to keep track of. So I'll bring up the problem statement here, but really if you focus on what's on the right-hand side, it's the stuff that's everywhere that you need to file things, that you need to apply for mortgages, update insurance, manage kids, sort of everything related to your family's most important information. And so my co-founder and I, we had a real problem. We had our first children and we were like, great, we've got an estate plan and we've got a binder sitting on the shelf, and kind of now what? That was just one part of a huge number of things that we were working towards. And we said, you know what I really want is one place where we can bring this all together, that I can work with my wife, that I can collaborate with my professionals, and finally have one view where I can do everything that is important to my family's organization and kind of operations.
You know, this really speaks to me in multiple ways. My mother was the most organized human being I have ever met in my life. I'm telling you, she was something.
Yep.
And fortunately, when she got sick, we knew we had some time with her. She had a folder, she had everything written out, it was typed, it was highlighted. She thought she had everything ready.
Yep.
And it was like, I would say about a week before she passed, she mentioned a bank account at a bank I had never heard of before.
Yep.
And I was like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Excuse me, mom. You're mentioning bank X. I've never heard of that bank before. Well, she said, what do you mean? Blah, 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 and tells me about it. And I said, Mom, I don't have that information.
Yep.
So imagine that scenario. And I was having a conversation with her. I mean, what if there was an emergency or a horrible accident and someone passed? If their people who were taking care of their stuff didn't have their information, it is so hard to help someone after and take care of their stuff after they passed and you don't have any information to
Yeah.
be executed without that.
That's exactly right. And I hear stories like that all of the time. We try to stay on the front lines, right? We like to talk to our customers. We want to understand how people are using Trustworthy today. And, it really boils down to like, hey, I'm busy. I've got too much stuff to manage. I'm getting hit with these penalties or these late fees. I don't have the time that I need, whether it's children, whether it's caregiving for maybe parents. And ultimately, keeping everything in one place is the ideal standard, but it's usually in the file cabinet and the Google Drive and the email and that stack of papers that's sitting with the mail by the front the front stoop at your house. And so what we try to do is build an intelligent system that really helps people pull all of that information together, especially, and I'm curious to see if this resonates with you, is that what we find in people's households is there's one person that's responsible for these things, and there's another person that's responsible for these things. And when they either one passes away or there's an emergency or they just need access to the information, never the two shall intersect. And that's a real problem for people. So, what you described with your own mother, I hear that all the time, is really like, hey, I'm going to be on point for this. And I think they're organized, but there's a lot of stuff that I don't know. And so ultimately for us, we're trying to move away from that do-it-yourself system and offer that guidance on top of that, the intelligence that makes sure that there's security in place, that you don't have to work too hard or think too hard to get organized. And I'd say the superpower with Trustworthy is really us pulling together the people who are involved, right? And I can tell you from working on this for a number of years, no two family dynamics are quite the same. And so we are really working on, hey, is it two parents and young children or college age children, or unfortunately there was a death in the family, or I'm picking up the pieces after my own parents passed away. We really love to support all of those different scenarios where, whether it's bringing in your accountant, your photo manager, your financial advisors, anybody who is connected into Trustworthy, you have very fine-grained permissions of what they can access. It's probably helpful for me just to give you a quick overview of what's inside. So if you take a look at this screen, hey, well, there's a lot of things. What is important family information? And we really think about it in terms of, hey, who are the family members and what's connected to them? Your real estate, finance, passwords, insurance, taxes, businesses, legal estate documentation, just resources, and then the contacts. We're looking holistically at a family and saying, hey, if something were to happen to you, or just managing the day-to-day of your life, there's all of these pieces scattered everywhere. And so we want to bring them into that one place where people can work together to make things easier in their lives.
And I tell you, the thing that I noticed, and my mom worked for a company that did legal plans. So she was very familiar with everything that she thought she needed to know. But even I've been executor for 2 different estates. And until you've been an executor, you just have no idea. So what I'm hearing you say also is that you're help guiding people to know maybe what they didn't even know that they needed to know, because this is something that until you've done it before, you might not know that you need 10 copies of a death certificate because you're going to be sending them to all these places, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, that's exactly
am I
right.
hearing you correctly?
That's right. What we hear from our customers and the experience that we've been focused on building is really, how do you offer really tailored guidance for where you are in life, what you're trying to solve, and ultimately based on all of these really critical documents and pieces of information. I think what's really great about this audience in particular is, for many folks there, you're going into other people's homes, and there's that trust building that has to happen. And for especially older customers who are maybe a little bit wary about using technology or what it means to have things in the cloud, having that person who represents trustworthy, or that relationship, that you have as a photo manager when you're in there talking to somebody, you really can ensure that transition, like the one that you described with your mother, just goes a lot smoother. So yeah, I think that the things that you're making me think of, especially as I talk to our customers, is, gosh, I didn't even think about the babysitter instructions or the letters to the loved ones that I wanted to leave, or, oh my gosh, I totally forgot about those 2 401k accounts that I had from the 7 jobs ago that I just totally forgot to put in. So as it relates to everything, yes, the experience of either working with an expert or somebody like a photo manager, or kind of going down this path by yourself with your family, our aim is really to offer that guidance and to provide those pre-populations, those suggestions, and then layer that with a lot of intelligence to make it super easy to get that information in.
Dan, you mentioned several things that put in Trustworthy, and you talked about that. How about passwords? Can you save passwords in Trustworthy?
You can save passwords in Trustworthy. That's
Okay.
right. And we think of passwords as not just, say, bank account credentials, but also password managers, if that's something that you use, but also things like the garage door code and Wi-Fi PIN numbers and the safe information. And I think it's important is that everybody's, I'd say, maybe tolerance or appetite for putting information online varies. We get that. And so I'd say the philosophy that we've built Trustworthy with is really about how, if it's a treasure map, then it just needs to tell you where to go, and it doesn't necessarily need to have every single piece of information. That the idea here is, how do you bring what you're comfortable with into Trustworthy? Now, this begets a whole security conversation that I'm sure we can have a little bit later. But for now, I wanted to just talk about a little bit that ease of how you get that information into Trustworthy. So as I'm sure you're aware, we were just talking about Projector, right? And all of the different video formats and the places, the ways that you have to convert stuff. Documentation, family information is honestly no different. It's coming through email. It's coming in the snail mail. It's coming through the things that you're saving on your laptop or your phone throughout the day. And we've really built a system that's predicated on, hey, wherever you are, we're going to make it super easy for you to get stuff into Trustworthy. If you're in your email, every Trustworthy account has a specialized email that you can forward attachments and emails to, and it'll just get dropped right into Trustworthy. The mobile app on the phone, we've got scanners built in so that you can scan in documents. Every day I make a habit of, the mail's here. Let me open these things at the dining room table. I'm just going to scan all of the stuff that came in today, and then it drops in. And for me, I'm really trying to get rid of as much paper as I possibly can in my life, and know that I can always access it, whether I'm on my desktop computer, my laptop, my tablet, on my mobile device. The goal is really to meet people where they like to work and empower those folks.
I hear that. Wow, that's wonderful. And who really benefits the most from your app?
Yeah, that's a good question. It really depends, I think, a little bit on the family, and I would say that it tends to be a little bit of where you are in life. What we
Okay.
see is that people who are having life moments, whether that's I'm recently married or I'm having my first child, um, I'm caring for a parent who's now transitioning into a assisted living facility or downsizing. All of those moments where you're sort of sitting back and going, all right, we're a new family, we are merging things together. It's those life moments where people really start to think about how can they do this better. In terms of who, it really depends on, I'd say our core group is like 45 to 70 people that have a little bit more complexity in their life. They've maybe amassed some financial gains, they have property, they have things that they're trying to aggregate, and many times it's just through life you just kind of keep acquiring stuff, and at some point you hit that critical milestone where you go, geez, where is all of this, how am I supposed to keep track of it? And those moments are what drive our customers to Trustworthy.
Okay. All right. And like I've asked most of the people, photo managers are very concerned about security. We've
Sure.
trained a lot in it. We discuss it all the time. We make sure that our stuff is secure. And I can imagine some people are concerned about putting their private property and personal data online. What are you doing to help mitigate that security and make sure that your clients feel good about putting their stuff in Trustworthy?
Yeah, that is a great question, and it's an important one. That we live in, sometimes you might call it even strange times with everything that's happening and how quickly things are moving. Our company was really born out of Silicon Valley, and we knew that when we were starting this, we said, look, security is number one. It's the only way that we're going to be successful here, is that we can get people to trust us. Um, Hence Trustworthy being sort of the underpinning of our business. I would say that one of the things that we do is just align our business model with that of our customers. So there's a lot of free products out there, and while not all of them nefarious, the adage that I always subscribe to is, if you're not paying anything for the product, you are the product. And so we are a membership subscription based service, because our whole point is your data is yours. It's yours alone. We're not trying to keep it hostage. We're not trying to keep you locked into anything. This is about making sure that you can support and ensure the security and privacy of your own family. So number one is just aligning ourselves as a business with that of the people that we like to support. Besides that, we go through rigorous auditing, third-party auditing of all of our technology systems. We are SOC 2, SOC 3, HIPAA compliant. We've got all of the badges and all the certifications of all the things that are important. I think what helps us stand alone in this space is a technology called tokenization. So things that are really, really important, the social security numbers, account numbers, all kinds of things that you really don't want to end up anywhere. If you think of, like, the metaphor I like to use is, imagine walking into a bank vault where there's a bunch of safe deposit boxes. Our methodology is we actually take the information and spread it out across a whole bunch of different safe deposit boxes, so that if there were any type of intrusion, that kind of thing, then you can't make out the full picture. Our whole business is ensuring that your data is protected. And so we've gone to great lengths around the technology to support that. The other parts that I think are important to mention is that you just can't sign up for Trustworthy without a minimum of two-factor authentication. So whether that's YubiKey,
Excellent.
a hardware key, or SMS, we support all of the various ways, because we know that the reality of people losing or being quote hacked almost always happens from the customer level, and so we just don't even want to put our customers in that position at all. So it's if you're interested in learning more, I could go on and on and on and on about security, but
You're obviously excited, and this is such a great company. I want you to say the word again that you said separates you apart.
yeah, tokenization.
Tokenization. Okay, I hadn't heard that before, so I just wanted to make sure I had it right. And how many people can share a family account? I was wondering that.
Yeah, it's a good question. So we think of Trustworthy as sort of household centric, if you were. So
Okay.
we put no limits in terms of how many people you can collaborate with, how many people you can represent inside of Trustworthy. We just sort of we charge by what we consider the household. So everybody does it a little bit differently, but if you can think about it as like 2 parents and 3 children, that's the household. If their parents are using Trustworthy, that's usually a different household. But we've seen people do all kinds of things, but ultimately thinking about that sort of like family unit is the way that we charge per account.
Okay.
I will say
Excellent.
too, from a pricing perspective, we really love families, and so we have multi-household and multi-year discounts for the service. So you have a brother and a sister and parents that want to use Trustworthy. Each of those different households, if you want to come together, we like to honor the family. So there's a multi-household discount for that type of setup.
Okay, excellent. Well, in wrapping up, is there anything else that you'd like to share with us?
I would love to just show the product for 1 second because I think it can
Okay.
help illustrate what's happening. Because as you know, with managing photos or managing information, it's all about how easy is it to get done. And so I just want to show you a little vignette here that'll hopefully illustrate the power of Trustworthy. In this case, I'm going to drag and drop a passport and a driver's license to Trustworthy. And I want you to see what happens. This happens for every single document type that you upload to Trustworthy. So we have our own internal private cloud intelligence system that we're using to analyze every document that comes in. And what you'll see here is that we've automatically extracted things like numbers and countries and states and expiration dates, addresses, all the stuff. And one of my favorite features is that we'll suggest a file name for every file because David CA driver's license PNG might not be the most attractive way to manage this. And then you can see here that we suggest destinations. So if you go over here into the family ID section, right, you can see that David Reynolds this is my David Reynolds. For maybe a better one, I'll click open here. It opens up my tile. I'm going to drag over my passport as an example, and then hopefully we're going to see some magic here in just a second. Here we go. And what it's going to do is look for all of the abilities of the information that we've pulled out. I'm going to accept all. It's going to fill out my driver's license. It's going to set a reminder for the renewal. It's going to connect me to the California DMV. And for every file, you can see throughout the system that I've got these ability to extract the details. So if you're thinking about how this helps for just the ease and the speed of organization, we're really excited about Autopilot as it helps people get organized quickly and seamlessly in their own family's lives.
Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah, that definitely puts it. Picture speaks 1,000 words, I think, is maybe what I need to say.
Well, I very much appreciate you having us, and thanks. Your mother's example really hits home, so
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you being on there. And well, again, the information is below. And we have some stuff in the comments. And let's see. Oh, how well does connectivity work for folks in Canada instead of the US, since they're our northern neighbors?
Yeah, so there's a lot of overlap. And I would say that there are a few pieces here and there that in our near-term roadmap we want to tune to be even better for Canadian customers. But today we support the import of Canadian banks, and the document intelligence represents Canadian information. It even can read French, if you can believe it. So yeah, we do our best to support Canada, and I would actually say a couple of our team members are based in Canada, and so we're always looking for that feedback from Canadian customers to help tune our next iteration.
And I know that we have photo managers in Canada that if you go to the photo managers website, and it gives you a list of all the pro photo managers that we have. And I know that they can help you also connect and make sure that you've got the information for Trustworthy.
Yeah,
So thank
maybe
you so much.
yeah. One last thing is if you can put my presentation back on. We are looking for more trustworthy certified experts. So
Okay.
since I know many of you are already, going into people's homes, have relationships with people, are working on the photo side, if the other part of the information in the family's, sort of important assets are of interest, please come join us as a trustworthy expert. There's a code here at the bottom for $300 off, which is about 50% or more off of the course. So we love the photo managers and would be delighted to have more folks come on board.
Well, thank you so much. That's a wonderful offer, and not all the photo managers that are on this site and other individuals too, who may not be photo managers but think this is a way cool way of saving and making sure that you're personally organized in your paperwork too. So thank you so much for being here today. We really appreciate you sharing about your wonderful company.
Thank you so much, Kimberly.
All righty, let's go on our list again. We've had Artifacts and Ollie and Mylio and Projector and Trustworthy. And remember, subscribe below. And please, if you liked what we're doing today, that little thumbs up button, because it really, really does help us through multiple ways. And now, again, I've experienced all these companies. So Archival Method is next with my friend Kate. And I love the product. I have boxed up many a photo in an archival quality box. But Kate, why would I be so excited about your product for my clients who have, let's see, the last one had 6,500 photos.
Yeah,
They want to know. Why would I be excited about you?
absolutely. So before I jump in to answer your question, I want to say that this whole presentation has been great. We've got so many great partners here at the Photo Managers. We've all been talking so much about digital images, digital files. I'm going to kind of switch the conversation over and talk about your printed photos, keeping them safe after you've digitized them. Want to just remind people that that's a part of the 3-2-1 backup system, which the Photo Managers always talks about. Keeping your original photos is a great backup alongside all of the solutions that you've seen kind of for your digital files as well. So your question, archival storage is so important for folks who've gone through the photo organizing process, like your clients. You've organized their photos and they have decided to keep the originals. You want to make sure that you're keeping them in a way that protects them for the long term. There's lots of ways to protect them online for the long term, but physically they need to be in a safe materials and a safe location, and that's what's going to protect them for generations to come. We want to make sure they're safe from light exposure, which fades photographs faster. We want to make sure they're safe from dust and pests, which can damage photos. We want to make sure they're safe from physical damage, meaning they're not getting bent or torn. They're not getting wet in a flooded basement. They're not being damaged by extreme temperature fluctuations. So as a photo manager, you want to be able to provide these options for kind of saving your clients or your own personal photos kind of for the long term, for generations to come, saving those physical photos. So we talked about archival storage. It means using boxes or albums or other enclosures to store photos that are made from certain materials. You're going to see words like acid-free and lignin-free. papers and cardboards, certain types of plastic that are inert and won't degrade or yellow over time. Special design elements. I've got a little mini box here. You can see these metal kind of edges here, and that provides a real rigidity to these boxes that you can stack, on top of each other, and the edges won't collapse. All of those things make up what archival storage is. I'm going to just show a couple examples here. This is like how a box of photos could be stored. This is just kind of a shoebox size box. It holds a great collection. It holds over 1,000 photos. So if you had
That's
a
what
client
I
with
was going to ask you. So
Yeah, you had a
imagine
client with about
1,000 photos if you have those great big huge albums and how much room it takes. And then if you just get an archival quality box
Yeah.
from Archival Method, it's this big. I mean,
Yeah,
so
holds
much
over
better.
1,000 photos. Absolutely. And
Fabulous.
they're just fine stored right next to each other. You can label them, organize them into different sections if you want. We have archival quality kind of photo lab type envelopes. So you can just, if you've had them stored in these before, you can just replace them with, archival photo lab envelopes, and it helps with the organization. Some folks like to keep things in binders. And so we've got a binder option right here that has lots of different types of pages for different size photos. So just a lot of options for kind of organizing and storing, printed photos.
Hey, why wouldn't I go to Dollar Tree and get one of those cute little boxes that are just like that black one that have that cute little paper all over it? Why wouldn't I want to store my photos in there?
Right. Well, they can have cute designs for sure, but the thing with buying archival quality storage products from kind of a craft store, a big box store, and even if it says they're photo safe, that is just not a term that has any standard behind it. If they're not listing the actual types of materials and the specifications of the materials that were used to construct that box or that storage envelope or page protector, you really can't trust it. You want to buy from a reputable supplier like Archival Methods, who is listing specifications for every one of its products on its website. You can see exactly those terms I was mentioning: acid-free, lignin-free, a whole host of other kind of specifications. Another term you want to look for when you're buying archival supplies is called the PAT. So a material or a box is made of materials that have passed the PAT. That stands for Photographic Activity Test, which is an actual standard, like an ISO standard that has, testing and lots of kind of, a whole standard behind it in terms of what things are made of and how safe they are for photographs. So looking for those terms and buying from a reputable supplier like Archival Methods is just critical. You just can't trust something that says photo safe and doesn't give you any other information.
So when people are getting their photos ready and they're a DIYer, right? And they want to do it themselves. And so, but they know they're going to need it. At what point in their organizing journey should they be connected with you? I mean, and I know your website's in there, so it's great because your website is so clear. If you're looking for slides, I know I was looking for a box that someone could put a World War II jacket in from their father. It's so clear, but when would they know?
Yeah, absolutely. Really, we recommend that you wait until kind of the end of your photo organizing journey to start investing in archival storage, whether that's storage for your printed photos, as you mentioned, textiles, family heirlooms, slides, negatives, kind of, video, if you're saving kind of any of your video originals, all that. We have boxes in every imaginable size and shape, and all that can be stored safely. But it really makes sense to wait till you're done. Your photos will be fine for the next year while you're working on them in whatever they're stored in currently. But really, when you're thinking about the long term, when you've got that final set of, your family legacy photos, you're ready to store away, that's when you should be looking for storage. And then in that process, you may have found a few photos, or maybe more than a few, that are extra fragile or need some extra support, or maybe they're ones that you want to frame. And we've got archival framing supplies, that we can offer as well. So Really just waiting until you've gotten through most of the process makes the most sense. One great thing
And-
about, oh, sorry, go ahead.
What I was going to say, to speak to your point, is like my client that had, 6,500. There's no way we kind of knew how many, because
Yeah.
we had all these photos, but there were lots of duplicates.
Yeah.
So we went through, we called it. So you can use the cute little box with the cute little paper for the year
Absolutely.
that you're trying to get this done. And then you go to your good box.
Yeah.
So there we go. We got happy on both
Yeah,
sides.
absolutely. Absolutely. One great thing about archival methods, I do want to mention, is that there are a lot of options for archival storage. We try to make it a little bit easier. We have an online version of this printed preservation guide, which I think Rebecca will throw the link in the chat here. Just really helpful information about tackling a family preservation project. And we also are available, customer service available during business hours. You can talk on the phone to somebody. All of our staff here has great experience in kind of talking clients through projects, recommending, ideas and solutions, and helping people measure boxes and how many things will fit in this box. And so just really great support. When you call customer service, call or email customer service, to help you through these projects, because there are a lot of decisions to make, for sure. And, if you haven't purchased archival supplies before, you might think, what do I even need? And we can help.
And I know that there's some products that you have that maybe people wouldn't even think about. Archival boxes, I think that's kind of okay, I can remember. But you even have pencils. You have plastic sheets, plastic
Protectors and little
yeah, sheet
plastic
protectors, or
envelopes.
even, for instance, I had a photo that was in the original small frame that was from the 1800s. Well, I wasn't going to take it out of that frame. And so what we did was we wrapped it in your wonderful plastic pouch, and we put it in the back of the box.
Perfect.
So that it was stored with everything that it should have been, but it was a little bit more protected.
A little bit safer.
And it wouldn't do anything to the photos. So there's a lot of pencils and pens and different things like that you have that can really make a difference. If you're going to do this, do it right.
Right. If you've made the investment in this photo organizing journey to this point, and you've digitized things, and you've gone through and organized and labeled everything and decided, what your best ones are, absolutely worth, saving them in archival storage boxes or albums, or, kind of any solution that works for you. And again, this preservation guide, which we have as a PDF online, is just a really great help in kind of pointing you in the right direction of what works for your particular project. Every project's different. And again, we love to talk to people about projects. And so give us a call, give us an email, and we'll talk you through the options.
And I know that you work with people on trying to help them understand if they're not sure, and they've got an odd object, or you have some amazing different kind of boxes there too. So
yes,
yeah,
also tall ones, short ones, different types of lids, all the things. That was too much to kind of juggle in front of the camera, but absolutely.
For sure. Yeah. Well, you did a great job with what you have, for sure. Thank you. Is there anything that I've missed, or anything that you would want either the people that are looking at this video or the photo managers? Is there anything that you want to add to this?
No, I just think that, we are here to help all different kinds of folks, whether you are an individual kind of doing DIY projects. We're here for photo managers. We've been a longtime partner of the photo managers for almost 10 years, probably, in terms of helping photo managers suggest things to their clients and understand what the options are for their clients. We certainly serve a larger audience of collectors and artists and museums and libraries and archives and things too. So we just have a really good sense of kind of what's out there. We always are developing new products. We love input from our photo managers, and really from anybody, but especially from photo managers who work with collections a lot, on types of new products, excuse me. We've actually started making photo kits. So different types of photo kits to store different numbers of slides or prints or sizes of slides, or, of prints and things, based on input from the photo managers. So we really are just love to be in touch with our customers.
Excellent. Well, thank you. Appreciate all that you do. It was great to see you again. And thank you for sharing about your wonderful product.
Good. Thank you so much.
So, No, I'm tired, but this has been fabulous. We've had permanent, we've had archival methods, we've had trustworthy, we've had Malio, we've had Ollie, we've had artifacts, and we've had the photo managers. The photo manager site, if you haven't gone on it, please do that. It is a wonderful opportunity to learn. There's classes on there about photo organizing. There's trainings that you can take. There's a list of pro certified photo managers in your area. So you could say, like, I'm in North Carolina, you could say, who's in North Carolina, et cetera, and find someone to help you. Now, do me a favor, hit that like button, little thumbs up there, because that really, really helps us. And subscribe to our channel. You're going to get lots of free information from people who know what they're doing. This has been an incredible roundup of all the kind of products that you use for photo organizing. And I've been so excited that you're here and I'm here. And if you've got any questions, don't hesitate to put it in the chat. If you're seeing this later that you weren't able to join us live, just put those questions down there and we will make sure that we have the appropriate person to answer those questions and get you the information that you need. Because photo managers, we love some photos and we love some questions. So Kimberly Melton with Visual Story Media, I'm so glad that you were able to join us today, and y'all have a wonderful day. And guess what? Keep those photos organized. Thank you so much.